Hey guys, it's been a while since I've talked, um, like actually talked about things that have been going on, how I'm feeling, and such as the likes of that. Um, I I'm not I part of me just wants to say yeah, I'm feeling better and I'm feeling more myself, but I'm not here to lie to you guys. I still am pretty screwed up from the situation that's gone on a couple weeks ago. And it I don't know, I'm in that transitional period of I followed through with what I said I was going to do. Now what? What are my next steps to truly recover? Um and I am slowly, very slowly recovering, and I was about to say I don't want to worry you guys. You guys are already worried. Some of you have been very vocal about worrying about me, and some of you have not. But I'm I'm still here is the most important thing. I'm still here. I haven't drowned myself out in alcohol. I'm I'm taking those trying to take those first steps to work myself to the point where I can return to being me, the real me. Cuz the real me, I haven't been me the past week or two, and I've been very cold and closed off and not receptive to a lot of things. And it's only been a week since I left Discord, almost. No, it has been a week. Um, and I don't I'm still half and half on regretting my decision. Do I regret it for all the people that I've left behind? Absolutely. But I also don't regret it because of the types of people who hang around and do the things they do that are not good. So I'm not good at this. I'm not good at being open um with how I feel and what my problems are. I'm not good at it. I'm really bad at it. To be perfectly to be perfectly honest, I'm really bad at it. I I have such a bad habit of closing myself off and not trusting anyone. And while I will say the situation that did happen is one of those reasons why I don't trust a lot of people, I will say that if I'm not open with people, how are they supposed to get to know me as me, not as like some other person that they think I am. And it's very difficult for me because stuff like the situation that happened has happened to me before. Like, it's not the first time, and I doubt it will be the last time. But, you know, you live, you learn, you love, you get hurt, and you move on. You keep moving. And I've accomplished the keep moving part. I need to move on is the thing. The part that I'm struggling with is moving on and learning from the... Well, I've already learned. I just need to move on from the situation. I think part of the underlying reason as why I don't open myself up so often, probably the biggest one, is I don't want to bother anybody with my issues, because everybody has issues going on with themselves and within their own lives. And to throw my problems into the mix of other people's, in my mind, is not fair to them, because I don't know, it's a big mess. Another reason being the whole trust issue. I have very, very big trust issues. And it's occurred to me that that might be part of the problem. Because if I can't trust anyone, can I even trust myself? Is the big question. Like, if you build yourself a box and you put yourself in it and you close yourself off and never go anywhere, eventually one day, some way, somehow, someone is going to come in and tear your walls down and expose you to the world. And the box only solves the short-term issues. And some people, including myself sometimes, I'm not excluding myself in any way, because I'm just as flawed as every other person on the planet. Some people only think in the short term. Some people only, I want to fix the problem and I want to fix it as soon as possible, right now, rather than truly thinking it out and truly solving the deep-seated issue, and it makes it better for the long run. So I don't know, like, with all the whole stuff going on around in the world right now, it's difficult to just sit down and think about me and think about what I truly want to do and what person I truly want to be. And I think now is the perfect time, because I don't have work for the next couple of weeks. The restaurants are on the verge of getting shut down anyway, so that was probably going to happen at one stage anyway. But now is the perfect time for me to sit myself down and have a real, true conversation with myself, which I kind of am doing, but I'm also talking with you guys. Because against my instinct and against my quote-unquote better judgment, I'm extending my trust. Is is what this is. What I'm doing right now, I'm extending my trust. Like, take it. Have it. You have my trust now. So, like, the past couple videos that I've made, like, I made one amnesia, I made an Amnesia Rebirth episode. It was an hour and 17, 18 minutes long. And then I made a recap video of all the stuff that's been done for Mystic Hills Origins, which is still an ongoing project. I just need to work on it, because there's a lot of stuff that I need to work on for the rest of my team to be able to do what they need to do. On the other hand, I was talking about the Amnesia Rebirth video. It's very obvious from the get-go, like, even me reviewing the footage, that I'm not 100% there. Like, for certain moments, the real me shines through. And I have a genuine reaction to something, and I'm genuinely having a good time. But, like, for 90% of the video, I'm not 100% there. I'm kind of zoned out, just going through the motions, and I've put on a mask, which I hate doing. I hate doing that. But in that situation, I felt I had to get content out, and that's not good. Because, like, even rewatching the footage to edit it, it made me feel even worse, because it made me realize how truly out of it I'm actually am, and how disconnected from myself I really am. So this is a good opportunity for me to reconnect with the real me and start over, which is something I desperately need to do, because I've already closed off the doors on a lot of people. A lot of people I made connections with, a lot of people I've talked to, a lot of people that genuinely cared for me, not for what content I make, or what character I voice, or what project I'm working on, or what things I've written. They genuinely cared for me, Matt, this guy. And it's I don't know, it physically hurt me to do that, but I felt I had to do it, because otherwise I would not heal and adjust properly. And I'm sorry for all the long pauses. I'm still, I'm easing my way through it. Like I said, this is something I don't do, which is open myself up. I don't do that a lot. I have a bad, terrible habit of just closing off and not talking about the issues that are truly bothering me. Because some people come up to me and be like, hey, what's bothering you? Something seems to be bothering you. And I just brush it off. I'm usually like, nah, don't worry about it. I can take care of it. I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I have no clue. Like, 95% of my life, I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants, trying my hardest to be the best me and help people along the way. It's a process. Cuz I'm not that complicated of a person, I would say. Like, everybody's complicated in their own way, but I'm not overly complicated, I would say. I have my hobbies. Like, YouTube is my hobby. I'm an extremely hard worker. If I can go and work and achieve something throughout the day, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I've been productive. I enjoy writing. I love writing. Correction, I love writing. I'm pretty good at it because people love what I've written. There's always room for improvement. I always look at it as I'm okay, but there's still more that I need to learn, is the way I look at it, which is a good way to look at it, because there's always ways to improve my writing. My writing 10 years ago compared to how I'm writing now, I was garbage 10 years ago. I'm mediocre now. I've improved, is my point. I love working with people. Like, the thing is, I am never adverse to just sitting around and talking with people, because connecting with people like that is something I truly enjoy. To learn about these people and truly understand them is something that I love. I love doing that, because that connection is important. Because we're humans, we're social animals. We need other people to function properly. Isolation is okay in small dosages. In large dosages for extended periods of time, that's not good. That's what causes a lot of negative things in people. It causes a lot of things in people. Isolation is never good. It is occasionally, if you truly need that time for yourself. Like me, I need that time right now. I'm in that point where I need that time to reconnect with myself, because obviously something is not on the up and up in here, in my old brain hole case thing. But at the same time, not having that connection and being cut off all of a sudden, like I've cut myself off. I'll answer people if they message me or text me, but I don't actively go out of my way to reach out to people. I think today was the first time I actually reached out to someone and talked to them. Which shows I'm getting better. But I'm still not there yet. I need to get there. The one thing I think I adore that I've learned about myself in the past 4 years. God, I've been doing this for 4 years. I just reminded myself. Is entertaining people, making people laugh, making them, having them find something that they enjoy, that they would love to do as well. Those are the things that make me happiest. Is if I can make somebody laugh, whole day is made. That's it. That's all I need for the entire day to keep going. Like me sitting here right now, knowing that there are dozens of people out there who truly enjoy my content and truly are entertained by all the bullshit that comes out of my mouth is great. It's fantastic, actually. I am extremely grateful and humbled that you find my content over literally thousands of creators' content entertaining. Now, I have lots of flaws. I have like I said before, I'm a human being. Like every other human being on the planet, I'm as flawed as they come. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. Some of my flaws I'm proud of. Most of them, not so much. Like my biggest flaw that desperately needs to be addressed is my lack of trust in other people. That's one of my flaws that I've been trying to get around that flaw for almost my whole life. I've been trying to get around that. I just not been able to. And I'm trying. Like, I try. I think another one of my flaws is while a lot of my actions are not truly justified, I'm usually proven right. And it's always that justification of I was right to be this way that I think fuels a lot of my issues. And that's more than likely part of the problem. Like that's something that I need to work on. Just because I was right does not mean I get to judge every other person that way equally. Everybody deserves that chance. But there's also the flip side of that where there are people who don't deserve that chance. Unless they can actually prove to you as an individual that they have changed. And I think people misunderstand the concept of change. In the short term, human beings do not change in the short term. It takes an extended period of time for people to truly change. Let's take me for example. 10 years ago, I was a very angry untrusting, just violent boy because of a lot of things that had happened during my childhood. I was just very closed off and pent up and angry all the time. And I just forced that part of me down until all of a sudden that pressure built up so much it exploded and I lost it. And I've told this story before, but I don't think I've ever told this story on camera. And if I have, you know that story. I'm not going to tell that story again. Right now. And it led to a lot of me growing up fast. Because I went from a 12-year-old boy to the next year, I had to be a 13-year-old man. Like, I couldn't be a boy anymore. I had to be a man and do all of these things that normal 13-year-old boys can't do. And through my teens, it was a struggle because hormones, your body is changing. It's not easy to do a lot of things as a teenager. Going into my adult years, I attempted to go to college, and it didn't entirely work out because I had a commitment issue. Like, I could not commit to the immense amount of work that it would take to get to the point where I wanted to be. So I stepped off. I was like, no, I'm going to stop. And I stepped off. I dropped out after a semester of non-stop school. And I accomplished a lot in that semester. I put in that work. But I stepped off, and I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should find some other things. And it was around that time, towards the end of that first semester of college, that I started dabbling into other hobbies. Like, I started writing a little bit. I started my YouTube channel back in September of, 2016? And I found out, wow, I love doing this. Granted, sitting here now, 4 years later, those videos are garbage. But back then, it was huge for me. And I stepped out of college, not because of YouTube or any of the other things I was doing, but because in my mind, it just was not a good fit for me. And I continued to do this. I continued to do YouTube. I'm pointing over here. I have my channel page open all the time, just in case comments come in or whatever. I have my channel page open. So that's what I'm pointing at whenever I talk about my YouTube channel. I'm sorry if I confused anybody. But I continued to do this. I continued to do YouTube. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with playing games and being myself. That was the thing that appealed to me the most, was I didn't have to wear a mask to make these videos. So I didn't. And I became more myself through my videos than I would be even around my own family. At the time. Because, remember, this was 4 years ago. I've opened up a lot more to my family. And I'm currently opening up a lot more to you. So, take that for what you will. Flash forward a couple of years. And another thing almost all of you should know by now, I have a passion for voice acting. I love the work that voice actors do. I love the type of work that goes into voice acting. And my time being a voice actor was phenomenal. I loved it. Despite all of the things that came after that, I loved it. I wouldn't take it back for anything. And it's something that I would love continuing to pursue as a possible hobby. I've considered dozens of times. I've sat in this spot debating with myself whether or not I would become a freelance voice actor or not, because I've had the practice, what with voicing Adrian and everything. I've felt out the amount of practice and hard work and training of my voice to pull off characters, and using Adrian as that foundation, that base level of commitment for a character, I feel is fundamental to me becoming a better voice actor. Because I'm not some huge big shot voice actor. Chris is way more talented than I will ever be. Mostly because he's had formal training. That, and he had the talent to pull off Leon of all characters. But it just goes to show, like, I'm not ever aiming to be that pinnacle of voice acting perfection. At the very least, I want to get to this mediary level where where I will become a very good voice actor. For example, a lot of the people that I'm working with for Mystic Hills Origins are extremely talented, like overly talented, like way overqualified for the job. And I just could not believe the amount of talent that I was able to find. And it blows my mind even more knowing that they're such great people. And I've enjoyed every minute working with them. Not to mention my concept art team and my animators are also phenomenal. They do amazing work. Like, all the stuff that was in the pre-production progress video that I made was done by my concept art team and my animators. Like, one of my animators, Faye, did those storyboards that are in there. Like, I work with some immensely talented people, and I enjoy working with every single one of them. What was I talking about? The voice acting thing, that's right. I went off on a tangent. I have a bad habit of doing that. I have a bad habit of running off tangents and then completely forgetting what I was talking about. Because I have the memory of a fucking teaspoon. I would love to voice in more projects. Not necessarily for the money. I wouldn't mind doing free work either. I think it would depend on project to project, because it depends on if they have a budget or not. If they don't have a budget, I would understand free work. Free voicing. I would completely understand that. But if there is a budget and you're just not including me in that budget, then there might be a slight issue there. Because as a head of a project myself, I have to make room in the budget for everyone, not just certain people, which was my mistake when originally starting. Because I tripled my budget to make room for the extra work that would be getting done. And I don't regret it. It's with the amount of work that's been given so far, they've far and beyond earned that type of money. I have no issues at all. It Oh yeah, you guys like that? I took a big chunk out of my hand at work. It's healing. Uh it's closing up a lot better than I thought it would. For only being a day old. Yeah. Uh anyway, off topic. Um but yeah, like I would not mind doing more projects. Of course, that would also involve me going out of my way to go find projects. Like that's probably the hardest part, is to thrust myself into these areas, cuz I'm not well versed in casting call club, but I feel like I should, because one of these days I'm going to find projects that I would love to be a part of that people are hiring for or are looking for volunteers for, like stuff of that nature. My only fear of free work, of volunteer work, is another mania situation where things do go really well and no budget is ever made for the voice actors. All of the voice actors, not just your pick of the voice actors. And that can turn a lot of talent off to your projects. Is you've made that project work and it's done well, but you're not expanding your budget, your original budget, any more than you already have for the next one. What? It's one of those situations that I would like to avoid. I'm not criticizing Mania on her product, her English. Apparently, I don't speak it. I'm not criticizing or questioning Mania's production decisions, while I am criticizing it a little bit, just a little bit. But at the same time, those are her problems to deal with as a manager of voice actors and map builders and such. That's her responsibility. That's her place to deal with those things. If she chooses not to, whatever. Those are her decisions. It's only gonna work out for her for so long, is all I have to say about it. Volunteer work only lasts so long until because people deserve the payment. Like, being paid for their work is what anyone who's working for you deserves. If you're not giving them that out of your own choice, then that's your failure as an employer, and you're letting your employees down. So I digress. I'm gonna jump back on topic before I get too far into that. We're talking about me right now. As a person. Me as a person right now. We're not talking about the whole thing going on over there. In terms of moving forward as a voice actor, I don't know if I would consider it a career path, because, I mean, let's be practical here. Me being very practical, it would take years of hard work and dedication to make a living out of voice acting. Like, even the pros nowadays, especially, are having trouble making a living off of voice acting alone. So I can't just solely focus on pursuing voice acting, because that's not realistic, because I have to pay the bills somehow. I can't just drop everything for this thing that might work and might go well, but could fall apart at any moment. Like, that's something a lot of voice actors lose touch with, especially when they get to that higher status level. They forget that at any moment, at any time, they could lose work. They could be fired. Or they could be laid off. Or they could just not have any projects to work on. That can happen at any time for any voice actor. And that's a scary thought. That's a very scary thought, because it gives you that little bit of insecurity in your job, and that's not what you want. You want that job security. That's what I want, especially, is that job security, that if I continue to do this, then at least I will have it later as well. I don't have to worry about suddenly getting fired or suddenly getting laid off. Like, I work in a restaurant. Despite the things that are going on right now, the restaurant is still open. There is still work that is available to me so that I have enough money to pay my bills. Because even though the work is much reduced compared to how it was January, February of this year, then, because I was working 30, 40 hours a week way back then. And now, like, I'm struggling to even get 10 hours of work because they've reduced so much on labor. And I don't know. Just as an example, like, I would never consider going pro on YouTube unless I've made it into the hundreds of thousands of subscribers and I'm making more than enough money. I would have to be making double my yearly income through YouTube for me to quit my job and never think about it ever again. That would be my criticism. That would be my condition to not working my day job anymore. I would have to be making at least double my yearly income, not my monthly, not my weekly income, my yearly income, which is not good, but it's not bad either. Because I think in the past year, I made almost $20,000 in a year. Not $20,000. $10,000. I made almost $10,000 in the past year. Over the past 2 years, it would be $20,000. Yeah. And I've had that job for 3 years. Like, Halloween was my 3-year anniversary working there. I would have to be making double that a year. So I would have to be making at least $20,000 a year to constitute me quitting my job. Would I, though? Debatable, because that extra work, I probably would only be working maybe 10 hours a week if I was making that much money off YouTube. I would still probably have it, but I'd probably reduce it down to maybe a maintenance shift or two every week, which may be 8 to 10 hours a week, which is not bad. Like, that's 10 and a quarter an hour times 10, that's roughly $100 a week. So I would have that nice little side money. I don't know. See, I'm very practical when it comes to managing my income and managing my money. I not managing my money. I'm terrible at managing my money because I'm more often than not, I spend money on other people than I do myself. More often than not, and that's not good, but it's also not bad because I enjoy giving people things because I enjoy making people happy. Um, yeah, I'm what you would call recklessly selfless with my money. Like, if I have money and I'm not using it, and I don't think of a reason why I should save it, I spend it on someone else. Like, I spend it on a friend, or I spend it on my mother, or I spend it on my sister. I get rid of it. I'm like, yeah, I don't need it. Get rid of it. I don't need this money. Don't trust me with it. And I do that more often than not. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either, because things happen. Uh, I don't know. Um, I'm not a very cautious person either. Like, if this is a good example, I was working my ass off and not paying attention to myself, to my safety at all, and was just working and pulling things out and making sure everything was going well, that I had somehow jammed my hand against something and taken a chunk out of my hand, and I was so busy working. And then it wasn't until like it was like oozing down my arm that I was like, "Oh shit, I'm bleeding." It was just one of those, "Oh shit," just looking at it, and then I'm like, "Yeah, I should probably do something about this." And like I'm glad I did, because I hit something there, and it sent a shock through my whole arm from my forearm up, that it made it so hard to move my hand. I couldn't work with my hand like that. Like, now I have full use. It's not a big deal right now, because like my hand works. It's a little sore, but other than that, I'm fine. I'm not gonna tell you not to worry, because you're gonna worry anyway. Um, that's another issue I have. When people tell me that they're worried about me, it makes me feel like too much of a bother, because I don't enjoy it when people waste their energy, quote unquote, waste their energy on me. Like, and it makes me very hypocritical, because I expend so much energy for so many other people all the time, always, that I'm not good at receiving that same type of treatment. And that kind of makes me slightly hypocritical. But at the same time, I feel like my energy is more best spent on other people than myself, because like back then I was completely fine. Like, I was very much myself. I was very much me as a person. And I didn't have to worry about it. And I didn't have to worry about not trusting people. And I didn't have to worry about getting stabbed in the back. But I digress. Um What else? Let me get my gears turning. Hold on. um... I also have a really bad habit of getting carried away with certain things. Like if I'm telling a joke or if I'm making a joke about somebody, because it's very difficult to make a joke without throwing somebody under the bus. And I take equal opportunities anywhere to make jokes because I'm a very lighthearted person. I don't like to take things super, super seriously. I can, and I will if the situation calls for it. But if I can diffuse the whole situation with a little bit of laughter or just a stupid joke, I'll do it. Like, it's equal opportunities. I take all equal opportunities. Most of the time that gets me labeled as an asshole, and maybe I am. It's whatever. Honestly, it's whatever. You can label me whatever you want. That's your right. Doesn't mean it's true, but I can be kind of an asshole sometimes though. I'll be completely honest. But I can get carried away, and getting people to call me on my bullshit is just as incredibly hair pulling as it is for me to open up about myself. It's incredibly difficult for some people, and it's incredibly difficult for me to be this open. And I just realized I've been talking for almost an hour about this. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I feel like, in my mind, I feel like I'm wasting your guys' time talking about my issues and what my things are. Like, I don't know. So, I don't know. That's stuff to think about. I'm not... Oh, shit. Just knocked into my microphone. Am I still talking? Yeah, I'm still talking. Okay, good. Fucking amateur. Me smacking into your microphone. What kind of amateur am I? Can I help you? My fucking desktop just screamed at me. I don't need backup options. I already have backup fail saves. But yeah, like I can be sort of a dick sometimes. Patience. My patience is very weird. It's as bipolar as you can get, because my patience, sometimes I can be the most patient person in the world, and I can just sit there and wait and sit there and listen to you and be like, yeah, 100%, yeah, you're good. And other times I could have a very short fuse and get frustrated very easily. And as a person myself, I don't deal with frustration well. My frustration turns into anger very quickly, is the issue. And when I get frustrated at myself, I get angry at myself, and that's not good either. Like, those are the types of things that I need to work on and get better at. So I don't know. There's a lot of things. I don't know. I am trying. I'm really trying. And it's difficult. It's really difficult for me to open up like this. Excuse me. It's getting pretty late. I guess it's not that late. 9 at night is not that late. But with the way I've been sleeping, getting up at 5 a.m. every morning, it's late for me. I've already pulled my full 12 hours and am ready to go to bed. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm I don't know. I feel like there's more I should talk about, but I've been talking for so long. Like these hour vlogs that I make are exhausting sometimes. Like the last one I made, a lot of people had a lot of misconceptions about that last hour-long vlog I made. And it made it, and in a way, I get what they're talking about. It made it seem like I was calling everyone else out, but I was mostly calling myself out for a lot of the things. I don't know. Like I talked a lot about communicate. If you're not communicating properly, how am I supposed to know things, and how is it my fault that I don't know said things? But at the same time, on the reverse end of that, I don't communicate properly and I don't talk about things. So how are other people, how are you guys supposed to know things? And the answer is both very simple and very complicated at the same time. But the way I would answer that is break out of your normal conceptions of what you should be doing around people. Start trusting people. Start talking to people. Be more open. Like right now, I'm trying to be more open. I'm taking those first steps to being more open, and I'm taking it with you guys because like I said at the start, I've given you my trust, and you guys have that now. I'm not gonna just take it back because one, that would be very petty for me to just suddenly take it back for no reason and not talk about it again. But I feel like I'll be making another vlog like this very soon because it's important for me to talk about it because I've closed myself off long enough and it's done its damage. And I need to open up to heal more, to heal properly. Now, with all of that said, I am not making any promises to return to Discord. I'm not going to make those promises. I might return eventually. Does that mean I'll make another server? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. If I do come back to Discord, it will most likely be in the form of, if you want to reach out to me, yeah, here's my name and my number ID. Go nuts. If I don't, then I have Skype. I have Twitter. If you want to DM me through Twitter, feel free. I always answer comments. Always. I've made it. It's ingrained into me to answer comments. That being said, if your comments are overall negative or derogatory, they're gonna get deleted. Like, I don't put up with that shit. Ever. I don't make exceptions. You may have a point, you may not. But if you're just being negative to call out the negative, it's getting deleted. Like, I'll read it, and I may send you a response, but it's gonna get deleted. Like, that's a given. I think I've said enough at this point. Like I said, I think I'll be doing another vlog like this fairly soon. Probably not tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to make a concerted effort to do videos. Like, I've been meaning to get back to Alien Isolation, Ben and Ed. However, I might do a thing that I don't like doing, which is making a new series. And it may be Devil May Cry 5. Because I've been playing a lot of Devil May Cry 5. And honestly, it won't be that long of a series because it's only got 20 missions, and I can clear 2 missions in like an hour. So I may make those hour-long videos to get through the game faster, and it may be like 8 or 10 parts, who knows. But yeah, I have been thinking about doing Devil May Cry 5. I'm always modding Xenoverse 2, but I'm not gonna make another series on that. I could not finish the one that I was doing because my PC died. That was back when my PC died, and I have my new one now. I do not have the same mods as the old PC anymore, which is a tragedy because a lot of those mods that I had are no longer available on the official mod page or anywhere from what I could find. Amnesia Rebirth may take a back seat for a little while. Mostly because, not because I don't love playing it. I love the new Amnesia so far. It's the true sequel that The Dark Descent deserves. And I'm super into it. And I talked a lot about the lore and how what the direction it's going in the last video I made. But my head is not in the right space for horror games right now. I have decided that I'm doing Resident Evil 7 after Amnesia Rebirth. So that will take its place as the other horror game I'm doing alongside it. And once Devil May Cry 5 is finished, I will go back to Ben and Ed and do videos on that until it's finished. And I wanna try and alternate between horror games and kind of fun action games or other such things. But I've been mostly, like, most of the games that I got recently and have access to now are horror games. Like, I've got a lot of horror games to do now. I gotta finish Amnesia Rebirth. Gotta finish Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation videos from now on are going to be much higher quality. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that left to do from where I am in the game. I think. I don't know. Maybe. If I can finish it in 1 episode, I definitely will try. Resident Evil 7, Blair Witch, Beast Inside, I think it was. Yeah, what games am I? Yeah, The Beast Inside. Bendy and the Ink Machine. What else? What else? I do have the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. I don't think I'm going to do videos on them. Maybe. I'll consider it. But I have them and I want to play them because the rumor is Resident Evil 8 comes out next year. Like, that's been announced. But it's the rumor going around is Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake. And as you all know, I did a Let's Play of the original on PC, which was kind of weird because Resident Evil 4 back then was designed for consoles. So the PC controls were really weird. I loved it. I loved playing Resident Evil 4. I love Resident Evil 4. It's terrifying in a bunch of different sections. It still terrifies me to the core for certain sections and monsters. And I would love to see it get a modernized remake. What else do I have? Doom. I gotta play Doom. That's something that will happen after Ben and Ed, is I will jump into Doom. Doom 2016 is what I wanted to jump into when I came back initially, and I would have Alien Isolation and Ben and Ed on the side to alternate between. I will be doing Doom, and then Doom Eternal immediately after that. I am going to be doing the DLC. I don't know when the part 2 of the DLC comes out, though. I don't think that's coming out until later next year. Because when did the Doom Eternal DLC come out? The 20th. It came out the 20th. So we're probably still a ways away from the next DLC. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to play Doom and Doom Eternal. Because fuck yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot that I want to do. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted looking at stuff. So yeah, I think I'm done talking. So I really appreciate you guys listening. For those of you who watch these vlogs to the end, I really appreciate you. I really, really do. And I want to try to be more open about stuff from now on. I need to be more open about stuff from now on. Because that's probably the biggest crux of the issue originally. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'm not gonna plug any of my stuff in the description, probably because it's not gonna be there. If it is, it's there, whatever. I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. But like I said, negative comments are never welcome. So either keep them to yourself or whatever. Just don't post them. Negativity is never welcome. I'm not here to promote that ever. Like, this is a channel of positivity. I try to keep it that way. I try. I really try. Like, which is kind of a juxtaposition. English. Apparently, I don't speak it. Which is kind of a juxtaposition to what I was talking about, which were kind of negative topics, but not really that much. But anyway, again, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Bye!